Ioann Alexandrovich Fryazinov was born on the 21st of June 1882 in a family of psalmists of the Church of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross in the village of Vozdvizhenskoye of Gleaned County of Moscow Province, Alexander Petrovich Fryazinov, who was later transferred to serve to the Church of the Presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the village of Klemerio of Ruza, county of the same province. In 1898, Ioann Alexandrovich finished Volokolong's Spiritual College on a first class, being allowed to the first year of Spiritual Seminary, from which he graduated from in 1905. Around 1904, after marrying Maiden Yevdokia, the daughter of the priest of the Church of the Intercession of Virgin Mary in a village of Bogorodskoye of Vireya County of Moscow Province, Mikhail Alexandrovich Holmogorov, Ioann Alexandrovich was firstly ordained a deacon and by 1908 to the priest. Before the revolution, the priest's property consisted of a house, a horse, and 90½ acres of land, which he, according to a reference from the village council, exploited personally. After the revolution, Father Ioann Fryazinov was persecuted by the godless authorities several times. On the 5th of November 1920, following a denunciation, a search was carried out in his house, and a notebook with sermons spoken by the priest, a diary of events of Soviet Russia were found. There the priest allegedly talked sharply about the wrong action of the Soviet government. At the end of the search and upon his arrest, priest Fryazinov said that whoever preaches the word of truth is arrested. Later, during the interrogation on 9th of November, the priest explains that he didn't speak about everyone, but about himself alone. I am arrested for the truth that I speak at church, so for religious one. Father Ioann admitted that in addition to sermons and excerpts from books, the events of the revolt in 1918 in Vireya County are recorded in a diary just for memory. During the interrogation on the 5th of November 1920, the priest confessed that the harsh expression was made on the occasion of the shooting without trial of the deacon from the village of Bogorodskoye. Probably Father Dmitry Kathinsky, who was killed in a village of Peredelkino in 1917. To the question of the investigator if the priest confessed that on the 4th of November that year, in the church during the sermon, he called for the worship of the icon of Our Lady of Chasm, indicating allegedly many manifestations of miracles. Father Ioann answered in the affirmative way. The priest didn't plead guilty in anti-Soviet agitation. Already on the 17th of November 1920, the conclusion on a case of citizens of Vireya County accused in anti-Soviet agitation against Soviet authorities and participation in the revolt in Vireya County in November 1918 was made. All people involved in the case were released. By the time of his arrest, family of Father Ioann consisted from a wife and 6 children from the age of 4 to the age of 13. In a property Kalun, it was written a house, 2 cows, 2 sheep. Priest Ioann Fryazinov was arrested again in 1931 according to the 58th article, paragraphs 10 and 11, for counter-revolutionary activities, and by the OGPU Troika was sentenced to 3 years of exile in Kazakhstan. There is a letter sent on the 17th of February 1933 by Father Ioann to one of his daughters. The priest said that he was doing clerical work, wrote about the arrested compatriots who had died, and complained that there was nowhere to go to pray, as the Tikhonov church was closed, but I didn't want to go to renovation once. According to his own words, the priest returned from Alma-Ata to the village of Bogorodskoye in June 1934. By the time of the return of Father Ioann Fryazinov from exile, at his intercession church, Archpriest Ioann Bilaev was already listed. Perhaps priest Valerian Smirnov could already live in Bogorodskoye. The former prior was registered with the Soviet authorities as a church watchman, but performs as a psalmist illegally, without going to parishioners' houses and carrying out requests. The evidence of Archpriest Ioann Bilaev confirmed the peculiarities of service of priest Valerian Smirnov and Ioann Fryazinov. Smirnov sometimes served as a priest at Bogorodskoye church. while Fryazinov served as a psalmist deacon. None of them was officially registered in the Soviet organization as clergy. On the 19th of November 1937, along with other priests of the Intercession Church, Ioann and Valerian Smirnov, Father Ioann Fryazinov was arrested according to the Article 58.10 of Criminal Code of Russia. The same day, the priest was questioned in the prison of Mozhaisk. Priest Ioann Fryazinov was accused that in May that year he said, "All the same, the authorities will not be able to exist for long. Communists will be swept off the surface of the earth. After all, they don't know how to run the state, but they only begar people." In June that year, he said, "The Soviet government promises a lot. They write in the newspapers, but in reality there is nothing. The Constitution says that we have ensured the right to work for all citizens, but nobody harassed me." According to the protocols of interrogation of witnesses for the prosecution, priests sometimes walk together in the villages under the guise of looking for a job and collecting bread, and to rest house number 6 where they conducted anti-Soviet agitation. According to the materials of the investigation case, Father Ioann Fryazinov kept in touch with Viktor Yakovlevich Burdakov, the former landowner of the village of Bogorodskoye, who had been exiled for counter-revolutionary activities. During the interrogation, the priest denied the ridiculous indictment, and on the 25th of November the same year, being accused in counter-revolutionary propaganda and active anti-Soviet agitation among the population by the NKVD Troika of Moscow region, priest Ioann Fryazinov and Ioann Belayev were sentenced to 10 years of exile in labor camps, while Archpriest Valerian Smirnov to capital punishment. According to the information from his relative, in December 1937, priest Ioann Fryazinov, who had a weak heart, passed away on the way to a labor camp. On the 12th of July 1989, priest Ioann Fryazinov was rehabilitated by the prosecutor's office of Moscow region.